which I promise you Dominic's story is not depressing like taxes, so. All right. Her lipstick was still on the mug. God damn it, Rollin said, watching as the red mixed with the black, the blood oozed from his sliced finger, blending with the grime and the gunk that coated his hands. He hustled over to the bathroom sink. Fucking catalytic converter, he whispered to himself, turning on the faucet. He put his hands underneath the piping hot water and watched as the sink turned colors, a porcelain canvas of machine and man. Last fucking thing to put in and my hand slips, he said, scolding himself. He shakes his head. The steam felt good on his face, and so he stayed there, washing and washing and washing a little longer, feeling his pores open up and his sinuses expand. He dried his hands off. His finger was still bleeding. He was out of Band-Aid, so he put pressure on the cut with the towel. He wandered back into the garage and stared at the car, a 1977 Chevrolet Monte Carlo. It was baby blue with a white leather interior. It had a 350 V8 four-barrel engine so loud that it had embarrassed Rollin to drive it as he got older. Oh, but the car had never ceased to thrill Anise. She would shimmy her shoulders in excitement and put her hand on his thigh when he put it in drive. She loved that car, and she had loved him in that car. They had 2 kids to prove it. Oscar and Maddie. They were now grown-ups and had cars of their own, ridiculing their parents for their Monte Carlo with a low gas mileage and the frame so big that it looked like a boat. For years, the kids teased them. Finally, on a Sunday afternoon, many months ago, Rollin asked his wife if they could go to a dealership. She stopped drinking her tea and put her mug down to look at him. Her smile had grown tired, and there were more creases around her eyes. But she was still the wild one who he had attracted him all those years ago, when her happiness was just Rollin and that car and a stretch of road that led to a dark section of town where they could talk and fool around and maybe ask the world for a little bit of privacy. There was a hesitation in her eyes, and he saw it. Sure, she said. He beamed. Get your shoes on, he said, grabbing his keys. She didn't linger. She was right behind him, her hand squeezing the small of his back as they left the house. Rollin didn't see the other car run the red light. He just felt it. Anise hadn't felt anything. That's what the doctors told him, at least. Rollin's mind returned to the present. He stared at the Monte Carlo. It had taken a year to replace all the parts. When he'd retired as a mechanic, he had relished the thought of never picking up a wrench again. Sorry, babe, Rollin said, the words echoing in the small, lonely room and the small, lonely house. He looked through the doorway from the garage into the kitchen. Her lipstick was still on the mug. Thank you.